everyone, and welcome to the 24th episode of Nina and Knitting. My name is Nina, and I live in Jyväskylä in central Finland with my husband, our two kids, and a dog. I'm still not on Instagram, but you can find me on Ravelry as Ninimo. And it's been about 4 weeks since I last recorded, um, and I seem to have put the mic that I had with me last time. I put it somewhere. I assume it's in a Notions bag, but it's not with me now. So I will just have to try and speak up. And I'm really sorry if the volume isn't efficient enough for you, whichever device you use to watch this. Today is Thursday. Yes, Thursday, October 12th. I'm by a lake, as you can see. It's behind me. I've been here before, not in this particular place, but the lake that you see behind me is the same that that you've seen in my previous episodes if you've watched any. Um, I feel very disorganized, even though I do have my show notes here under the camera, which is my tablet computer. I really have this sort of high-tech equipment to record this with. Anyway, I don't have a lot to show you today, even though it's been such a long time since I last podcast. I only have one finished project. I have a couple of WIPs that I've been working on, and I'll show them to you. And then there is another WIP that I have started after my last episode. I have absolutely no hats, even though I will be talking a little about my knit along hats all, folks, towards the end of the episode. Yeah, I think that's it. I have no acquisitions either. I will soon, but for now, I have no acquisitions. Nothing, just a few little knits that I've been making lately. At the very end of this episode, I'll be showing you an event that we had here in Jyväskylä. So if you're interested in seeing a little of what happens here, what happenings we have, then yeah, stick around for the last bit. But for the knitting, let's start with that. My finished project is the Sock Knitters Anonymous, which is a Ravelry group. Sock Knitters Anonymous September Challenge Mock Mr. Sock, that is. And here it is. And here's the pair. I just don't have 2 feet with me today because I couldn't fit it in my backpack. Here's where I was last time, I think. And this is a pattern by Heidenik. It's called Radar's Teddy Bear. And Heidenik is well known for her wonderful cables and, of course, some of the beads too. So here's the back of the leg. I mean, don't you just love this? Like sort of a subtle net in here, and then you have this more distinguishable, whatever, net sort of thing, and the wonderful little beads. The beads I used are see-through glass beads, 8 beads per inch size beads, and the sort of the inner, the hole that runs through the bead is coated with some silver, so they're very nice, and I love it how they show in this yarn, which is Rouva Silmusolmu, a Finnish dyer, her Merino Sukkis merino sock base. So it's 85%, no, 75% merino and 25% nylon. And this colorway is called the Sun, or Aurinko actually, and the colorway's name is in Finnish, and it is just absolutely beautiful. It's a really nice colorway to knit in the fall. As you can see, fall is full on, and that's partly why I put this camera this way around, so that you can see the reflection on the lake behind me. You can see how the leaves have more or less all turned yellow or orange, or yeah, well, fallen down on the ground also. And we have less and less daylight each day, and that's why it's very nice to knit a yarn that is as bright as this one. And I just love these socks. They're so pretty. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. This is, since it's a mystery sock and a challenge for the SKA, it is free. It's a free download on Ravelry. So uh, if you like cables, then yeah, I totally uh, recommend this pattern. It's beautiful. Yeah, both of them are here. They've been ready and all ends woven in and blocked for quite a while, just waiting to be shown on my podcast. Yeah, so that's the only FO I have. Then for what I have been knitting on, the whips, um, the big one that I really really love is my yin yang dance sweater. It's a pattern by Atelier Alpha, and let me get it out of the bag because it is big. Last time I had finished one sleeve with this wonderful little cable detail here, um, and of course the shoulders, because you start from the shoulders. And the second sleeve, I think I had knit until here, and now I have finished the second sleeve with this beautiful cable here before the cuff. It's really pretty. And then I have knit some of the body. So this is the front, and I can't see anything. It really curls up badly. But this is the front. So there's this sort of yin yang patterning in the front. It's I just love this. I simply love it. And then the back is just, ribbing from where you start from the I cord, and then you have this ribbing going down. It is so pretty. The yarn I'm using is Pâte de Velours, Féline DK Crazy, and the colorway is Bloody Cardamine. And since it's not sunny at all, the sun is not shining, you really can't see how this yarn actually has some shimmer um, in itself. I don't know. Maybe I will be able to show it one day, but I just love this. But as you can see, I'm not very far off. I'm just gonna have to knit on, knit on, knit on. But since it seems that fall is the time where everybody has their birthdays or whatever, um, there are a lot of things that I want to knit. One project that is not for anybody. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it for myself or what I'm gonna do with it, but it's the Kalevala cowl, the crochet along that I talked about last time. I had finished 2 squares for that last time. Well, this time I have finished 2 more squares, not more than that. So I'm really running behind. I think there are 12 squares already released, or the patterns have been released, and I have now finished 4. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, you know, mm, if I'm gonna be able to get on schedule or not. I'm not really trying hard because this is something that I'm doing probably for myself, and that's why, I'm not in a hurry to finish because I have other things I want to finish in certain time frame. Yeah, well, the first square that you have not yet seen is called Birth of the World, Maailman synty. So this crochet along is something that is that the individual squares and the patterns are released in a blog, and they are all in Finnish and in English. So if you're interested, you can check it out. I'll have to try and link it somewhere in the show notes. But this is Maailman synty, Birth of the World, and Kalevala is the national epic here in Finland, and the it explains how the world um, came to exist, and it was a bird that laid some eggs, and then the eggs cracked or something. Yes, I have read a little bit of Kalevala, but I really don't remember. But these are, I think, the eggs, especially this one, I don't like. It's not pretty. I don't like how it sticks out. I haven't blocked this, so yeah, maybe it will flatten a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not too crazy about this square. These, I don't know what this stitch is called in English. It was nyörisilmukka in Finnish. I really hated crocheting them. I'm using a 4.0 millimeter hook, and as far as Ravelry is correct, it's the size G. I don't know if it is, but Anyway, so the yarn is an Aran weight yarn, Novita, no, not Novita, Menita Lasse, and so it's quite a thick yarn, and crocheting these sort of bumps, I don't know. I didn't quite like it, but yeah, it's finished. One square is finished, and then I have a second one which I have finished after last episode. This one is called, I'll have to check. Kätketty aurinko, hidden sun. So this is the sun here in the middle. I have these different shades of blue and gray in my yarn kit. Is it? Yeah. Um, so the sun in here is actually blue, light blue. This is huge. This square is huge compared to, for example, the one that I just showed you. I don't know. I may try to recrochet it or not. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm just gonna see how the other squares look and whether I just wanna maybe do another square twice and put that in this square's place and maybe do something else with this. I don't know. But yeah, it didn't turn out too nice. Don't really love these. Is it popcorn stitches maybe? And well, anyway, here it is, the second, or this is the fourth square of the Kalevala blanket. I have them here. That's all. That's sort of the projects that you've seen before. But then I have one new project that I started. It's pair of socks. After I finished the Hygienic socks, I wanted to cast on another pair. This is a really, really simple pattern. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Petty Harbor. I don't have my blocker with me. I have finished one sock, and then actually, well, I'll show you the other one in just a bit. But this Petty Harbor, the motif is, as you can see, pretty easy. So if you've been doing just plain stockinette socks for ages and you want to do a bit of something different, this might be the sort of pattern that you want to try. So it's just a 4-row repeat and 4 stitches, 4 rows, and you repeat it over and over and over and over again until you have a full sock. And I have the second sock here. I have started the heel flap. I've not just haven't reached the part where I start turning the heel. As you can see, I'm using my 3.0 millimeter bamboo DPNs. So that's size 2.5, US size 2.5. And yeah, it's well, I can't say it's totally mindless because you do have to pay attention. Every other row is just knit, so it's easy. But then like every odd row is knit, and every even row you do have some stuff happening. So you do have to pay attention a little, but not a lot. So yeah, it's fun. This yarn is Austromensteppe Classic, and the color is 1024. It's a fingering weight yarn, 75% virgin wool, 25% nylon. Pretty standard yarn. And for the Hygienic socks also I used size 2.5, so that's 3.0 millimeter needles, but I didn't use my DPNs. I used a circular needle, Knit Picks, no, Knit Picks, Knit Pro, one or the other, Symphony Circs, and I knitted, or I knit the pair 2 at a time, magic loop. But these I'm just doing 1 at a time on my DPNs. And I hope to finish, oh well, I will finish them before the weekend because they're for a friend of mine and we're meeting this weekend. So I have to get them ready before that. Yeah, that's all my knitting. Everything that I have knitting. Was there something else? The Petty Harbor pattern is by Raina Curtis, the designer's name. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, that's the knitting stuff. Where am I on time? 20 minutes. Right. Okay. What else? The knit along. The hats all knit along. Like I said, it's a knit along I have going on in my Ravelry group, Nina and Knitting Podcast Ravelry group. I have a thread there, just the one thread for all the chatter and the finished objects for this cal. And there are already, I think, 5 finished objects in the thread. Uh, so it can be any hats whatsoever, beanies, whatever, for babies, children, adults alike, as long as they're hats or beanies, crocheted or knit, and they're fine. And I will have some prizes, but I haven't gotten around to go and purchase any, so I'll get some and then I'll show them to you. Is that all? It ends on November 30, 30th, 31st, whichever. Right. Then after last podcast, Hanna, who is Hurja Hanna in Ravelry, contacted me and asked me for my new address because she had something for me. Yeah. So she had noticed that when I pulled out the stage 6 sock for the Total sock, I pulled it out of a plastic bag, and she sent me something and said, "Oh, I'm not having it. You using a plastic bag for your projects." So here it is. She sent me quite a big, as you can see, it's as big as my head, project bag, drawstring bag with tassels. It's absolutely wonderful. I haven't used it yet because, the sock project I have is pretty small. I can fit it in this um, project bag that I already have. But I know that I'll be starting a shawl more, well, sooner or later. And I think this will be a really good size bag for the shawl, because it'll have 2 skeins of yarn. The reason why I had the notorious wannabe sock in a plastic bag was, well, first of all, I don't have a big project bag because I had to have 4 skeins of yarn, not all full skeins, but 4 different colors of skeins for that sock, and so I just don't have didn't have a project bag big enough. But another thing was that I never took it with me, the sock, when I went somewhere that was not a carry along project, because it was so difficult. So I just had all the yarns laid on the couch, and I was knitting there, and then you know anyway. But thank you very much, Hanna. I will put that in good use when I start my shawl project. But when I wrote down some of my future plans for my projects, well, it's not in the immediate future, even though it's from my mom, and yeah, I was wanted to finish it uh, pretty soon, but I have a few projects that need to be finished before that. So yeah, um, that's it. It was a really wonderful surprise to get um, to get this project back, and I really do love it. I think do love the colors and the patterning of the fabric. So it's really nice. Thank you, Hanna. Um, And then I have gotten messages from both winners for the 1 year anniversary giveaway. And yes, both the skeins have reached their destinations safe and sound. Yeah, right. So for the knitting, I will have to finish the Petty Harbor socks, of course. I will continue my sweater, but no, before I do that, I will have to knit a pair of socks for my niece because she has a birthday next week, I think. Yeah, and then I have planned to make a hat for my nephew, so I will be joining my own Cal uh, one day soon. Um, yeah, so I think it's gonna be a hat for my nephew, but I'm gonna show it to you when I get there. Uh, the socks, I'll just have to try to remember to take a photo of the Petty Harbor socks when I finish them, because I will give them away this weekend and I won't have them to show you on the next podcast. Yeah, so that is all the knitting stuff I have planned for today. Then for the last bit, which is sort of touristy kind of thing, maybe. If you're interested in what sort of uh, city Jyväskylä is, or some of it you can see behind me. It's this nature part, and I do love it. We have quite a few lakes, and even though we do have apartment buildings and houses and all that, I think Jyväskylä is quite a pretty city, and I'll try to take some footage of the the city center one day, but I don't have it now. What I wanted to talk to you about was we had two events 2 weeks ago here in Jyväskylä. One of them was this European Researchers' Night, which is the last Friday in September, and it's held in different uh, university cities around Europe. And it's an event where researchers will show people what they do for a living, how they fill their days at the university. They give lectures on different topics and their researches. And we went to check it out last year with my son, just briefly. This year we had a little bit more time. We went um, we, as a whole family. We went to see a sort of a presentation uh, called Unconventional Chemistry. And as you can probably uh, guess, when you're um, planning a presentation for public, or just your average people, um, what you do with chemistry is like blasts and fire and all that sort of thing. So it lasted for about half an hour. It was held in English, and there was some explosions and some fire and liquids turning from see-through to black, and all those cool stuff. And of course, he had some liquid nitrogen, I think it is. Um, so it's in its liquid state, it's minus 195 degrees Celsius. Oh, put it on the screen what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's really, really cold. So when you pour it on the table, for example, it evaporates. So you get this smoke coming, and you can do pretty cool tricks with it. So that's what he had. It was a PhD student, I think. Don't remember his name, but yeah, he was fun. So we went to see that, and afterwards, we went to the physics department, and we have a, let me check, particle accelerator here in Jyväskylä, and I've been told it's pretty rare. It's the only one in Finland. Even the Swedes don't have one, which is always good for us because there's this rivalry between Finland and Sweden, and we have something that they don't. And so yeah, we went to the physics department. The 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 particle accelerator is, just a really big machine box. So very, it's anticlimactic maybe, but they had some fun stuff over there too. So like heat sensitive camera, and I don't I don't remember, different gadgets. So it was interesting, and I think pretty fun for the kids too, because both our kids were with us. So my son, who's 13, and our daughter, who's 4 years old. So we went there as a whole family. After that, we came back home. The kids had something to eat, and I took the dog out because the presentation was pretty early in the afternoon at 5 o'clock. So I didn't have time to walk the dog before that. So I walked the dog, the kids had something to eat, and then we took the bus to the city center to see another event that was going on all through from Thursday to Saturday. And it was Jyväskylä City of Light, and it was just fabulous. I mean, Jyväskylä is pretty when it's dark, because we do have different lights in, say, normal state. But during the City of Light event, we had these light artists, I think, who had done their artwork, and they were in different parts of the city, but we went to the park around the city church, and I'll have to check the names, but I googled them, or I searched the net to have some accurate knowledge, so accurate facts. Oh, that's the train. Let's wait until the train's gone. Yeah, so the first artwork that we saw was from a Finnish artist called Veikko Lappalainen, and I have some small video clips and some photos of his work, but his work was titled Flowers of Light. No, Flowers of Life, sorry. And I'm just gonna show you a little bit of it before I explain a little more. So there were these sort of flowers. They were three-dimensional, and they were made out of fabric, and he had painted some paint that reacts to UV light. And you can see on the video, you can see how they like flutter in the wind, and they were really fascinating. So he had quite a few of those flowers around the park where they, you know, this part of the event was held. There was quite a lot of people in there, so um, it wasn't easy to take photos or video, you know, because they'd get in your way and so on. But you know, it was very nice. It was pitch black, and our son was not, you know, too keen on this artwork, so he took care of the little one of his sister, and me and my husband, were able to just admire and watch the pieces in awe because they were really amazing. So that was one artist, and then there was another one, an artist who I believe lives in Finland. His name is Alexander Reichstein, or something. He had these human and animal figures that were made out of uh, wire. Wire, yeah, just wire. his collection was named They Were Here. And they were just wonderful. He also had put some, um, I think, fabric around the wires, and the fabric was coated or painted with some paint that reacts to UV light, or maybe it's just that the fabric was white and that enhanced sort of how well they were seen on the UV light. But it was just amazing, really amazing. It was fun that some of the um, there was this sort of child who was swinging or was on the swings. Um, so you could stop the child, and then you could just, you know, give some, you know, push, and the art would start swinging back and forth. Really, really fun. And there were these there was a cat, but when I was trying to take a picture of the cat, there was just too many people around, so no luck with that one. But you could see some rats, and then one of the prettiest ones, I think, was a trio of angels that were set or hung on top of the church front door. So I have a picture of that too. So there's a big angel in the middle, and he or she maybe, has a trumpet, I think. And then there are two smaller ones on both sides. So that was really, really pretty. And then there was one uh, piece that was called The Forest Rises, and the artist is Annie Mitchell from the States. And I'm going to add a photo in here. So that's a piece with mushrooms. One big mushroom in the center, and then you get these sort of I think LED lights, light strings, and smaller um, mushrooms spreading from that one center, just like normal um, mushrooms do, because they're all entangled in the same net or whatever. So that was cool. And then there was another one. I didn't get a very good picture of it because there was just a lot of people hassling and touching it and being in my way. But there was a piece called Horizontal Interference by Joachim Slugoczy or something from Poland. I'm gonna put the name here, down here, and I will probably have put all the names on the screen before. So there were these colorful stripes of, no, not yarn, but bands, colorful bands. I'm gonna put a picture here. Yeah, so that was something that was going on here a couple of weeks ago. The buses were free of charge, so that's why we took the bus, and they were fully packed. So one of the reasons why our daughter wanted to go was because last year we went to see the same event. They had different artwork then, um, and we took the bus, and it was it was an exciting event for her to take the bus because we never go on the bus. We always go and take the car. But now we just didn't want to go in the city and try to find a parking space for the car, and just there was no sense in that. So we took the bus and you know went. Oh, it's like 8 p.m. maybe. I was very tired because it was on the Friday and I had, worked uh, from like 8 till the afternoon, and then we went to see the chemistry thing, and then we went to the city to center to see the light performances and the artwork. And it was very very tiring, and of course our little one and the 4-year-old was also quite knackered. She was not a happy camper before we went to take the bus back home. So pretty tired little girl there. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. I was I came here by bike, so I was pretty hot and sweaty when I came here, and now that I've been sitting here for more than a half an hour, maybe even an hour, I'm getting a little cold. But before I put my stuff together, I will take some video of the lake behind me so that you'll see that better, and I'll maybe put that um, as the intro of this episode. Next week. Sorry. Next week, the kids will be on fall break. I'm working all week, so I'm not sure if they'll go to the countryside at least for a few days, maybe. I'll be at home alone then, or maybe not. Maybe they'll just stay at home with me. But after that, well, uh, I'm going to a dog show this weekend to work, and in a couple of weeks, I'll go to another dog show. I hope that I'll have a chance to record in 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, until that, I hope you have a lovely time. Take care. Bye.